41 pages of bookmarks is not a problem.
God, cutting you off.
No, I can stop anytime.
I have such rose-tinted goggles when it comes to art fight. I was like, I just caught up.
Oof, so competitive. That's a real art fight.
There you go.
Yeah.
My name is Friendy or Mufu, depending on what you want to call me, and I try to animate my own stuff, a little pilot called The Power Shade, and I do stream sometimes on YouTube and talk a lot about art fight, but yeah.
She comes in like with all this energy.
An actress, voice actress, so I'm really just in my bed laying down crying all the time, and then you could just like tell me to act something, and I'd be like, oh yes, hi! So yeah.
Speaking of voice acting, I know you've done a character for Pilfer. Pilfer, why don't you go next?
Yeah, so I'm Pilfer Pup. I run a YouTube channel as well as Instagram. I'm mainly in illustration and children's books, but I also dabble in animation, and I'm learning Blender so I can animate in 3D. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And Pilfer is drawing for us again today. If anybody who's already seen episode 1, they will notice it's the same artist doing the on-screen drawing, but Friendy will also be drawing today. I am Carrie Pictures on YouTube. I am a comic creator. We have a very specific topic for today's episode, and that is art fight. If you go to any one of our channels, you're going to find videos based on art fight, and we have so much enthusiasm for art fight. Friendy, how many videos for art fight do you think you've put out already? Like just this year.
Just this year, I made this. Oh no, yeah, okay, not including shorts. Okay, because I made one short in like 2023 out of the blue, but I made theory, prep, culture one, and I have like 2 more down the way, so 5.
Oh wow!
And that's not even including the streams. So I guess 6 if you count the art fight hunting stream.
6 so far this year. I saw one other art fight video in May beside yours, but I'm pretty sure you dropped yours first. So I think that you basically launched the stampede of artists who are just super excited and ready for art fight.
Well, I saw a lot of people like a week or 2 before doing that video, the prepping one, that like people were coming back to my old art fight videos. I'm like, oh, is it time? And then I saw the date, May. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be the perfect time to do an art prepping video. So people that think they're late can actually show up early and get like a decent amount of art references done. But, you know, I'm making a last minute prepping thing. So people that think they're too late, I got you covered.
On that note, I also have a last 1 week prep for art fight video as well. So it may not be like super last minute, but it's not from this year. It's from a few years ago. So I think I'm the OG art fight video creator from 3 years ago. I made that video and it like hit 30,000 views, which is a lot for a small creator.
Right.
And I mean, granted, it's like massed a couple thousand each year since then. It's been like, 3 years ago that popped, so 2 years now of like carryover. But I gotta say, like last year, I saw a lot more tutorials popping up that weren't there before, and there's some really good ones. There's a really good one that came out last year. I can't remember the creator's name, but I know that like the thumbnail shows this like paper cutout deer-like creature with a pencil, and it's like an art tutorial video. You know
that
what I'm talking about?
That one goes into such depth. It's so good.
So good. I'm like genuinely jealous because it's so good. Like mine's good too, but it's like the algorithm, I don't know if it's because it's newer so it feels more relevant, it's like pushing it. It has like 78,000 views, and again, really great numbers for small creators. I'm not mad. I am a little bit like feeling like that sibling rivalry, like the algorithm,
right.
who does dad like more? That video is so freaking good. It's endorsed. Friendy said it's good. I said it's good. It's such a great video. Check it out. Now that we've like seriously gone into a little bit of the weeds of YouTube videos on art fight, let's back up a little bit. And Pilfer, I'm going to ask you to do the honors. Can you explain what art fight is for anybody listening that might not actually know what art fight is?
Yeah, of course. So art fight it's a website, artfight.com. But you make an account and essentially you'll post characters on there, your own original characters, and people will see it and be like, oh, I want to draw this character. That's really cool. And because they drew that character based on the amount of like effort and the quality, they'll get so many points. And you can respond with a defense, is what it's called, to their attack, which them drawing your character is the attack. You responding to that as a defense and you get bonus points for defending against it. And so there's 2 teams, and you get points that is going towards your team. So by the end of the month, the points get tallied in, one of the 2 teams wins. It doesn't really matter. The main purpose of this whole event is to just draw a lot, meet a lot of artists, network, and hopefully get a bunch of cool art in the process, both by yourself and people that draw your characters. So it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's a great way to meet people. I've met a lot of my students through there, and it's been really awesome.
So how many years have you guys done ARTFIGHT?
3 for me.
Let me see. I think I've done 5 years now.
Wait, it's 2. It's 2 actually. This is gonna be the 3rd coming up here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yay.
It's about to feel so old, you guys. This is my 8th year of ARTFIGHT.
That's so cool though. Like the OG though.
I don't know you've been doing it so long.
How did you guys find out about ARTFIGHT? Because it wasn't us. We had to go out and find it ourselves.
That's true. This was before there were YouTube videos for it.
Right. I was in actually one of my animation classes, one of my first ones, and this really good artist was sitting to my left, and she was like, "Oh, you should try ARTFIGHT. It's so cool. It'd be really cool to draw your character and vice versa." And I'm like, "All right, that sounds really fun. I like this idea. I like meeting people. I'm an extrovert, so of course I want to meet more people and more artists." I joined, and I think I got like 3 picture responses to my like 5 posts. But it was still pretty cool. I learned a lot because I pushed myself to draw that whole month. And so now every year I try and do as much as possible. I think it was 2022 where I just went like nuts, and I did like 1 every couple days for the whole month, and they were like maximum quality. It was amazing. Still some of my best art pieces in my opinion, but it was emotionally exhausting to do like essentially like 9 hours of art every single day throughout all of July while still like working a full-time job. It was crazy, but it was super fun. And I streamed all of it too. Yeah.
If you guys have an ARTFIGHT account, check out Pilfer's page. You have to like, log in to actually look at other people's profiles, but log in and look at it because honestly, he's not even exaggerating at all. The pieces he made are such high quality.
I do plan to get some of them like matte printed so I can put them up on my wall. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I also want a collage of all of the pieces that people have sent to me since I started ARTFIGHT. So it's like a whole canvas of like all of them. I think that'll be really cool.
That
whole canvas.
I would
of,
love
like,
to
all
see
of
it
them.
when you ever get to it.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
What about you, Friendy? How did you find out about ARTFIGHT?
Oh, okay. So it's a weird story. Let's see. I was into this webcomic at the time called Power Pill by Book Fan Geek for a little bit, and then they kept like saying like, "Oh, I love ARTFIGHT, blah 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 blah," and I thought nothing of it. I was tempted, but at the same time, I didn't know exactly what it was. And the idea of fighting people with art scared me. I was like, I don't want my OCs to get hurt. No, please, no. So I stayed away from it. And then I saw Pilfer talk about it during his streams. And then I saw Hugh Perry talk about it in your streams. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to be sneaky about it and get into it. So I tried the sneaky way. And I got in late, but I figured like I wasn't going to participate that year. But I figured like, you know, why not? It's July 3rd. Let's just go in. It's still early. So yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Right.
And there's no turning back.
There's no turning back. I'm stuck here. Help.
I would be mad if somebody helped me out. No, I want to stay.
Yeah. I remember like every day I was like, wow, I don't even know I had this like skill, but because you're drawing as frequently as possible, hopefully, skill just like exponentially increases throughout the whole month. I still look at these and I'm like, dang, I can't believe I drew these. This is awesome. Like they look so good.
That's my favorite of your entire gallery. That one of her playing the
Switch. Yeah.
You spent a long time on that one.
On I think these two right here, the top and bottom ones, I spent a long time on. I remember these bones specifically were like, it's like an hour for like one bone because of all the detail that's in it. Like the subtle shading and whatnot, and making them like layer correctly and then having to do the rest over here and over there and over
it's
there.
Really cool.
Yeah, I'm like still proud of it looking at it. If I do say so myself.
If anybody wants to company, while they're doing Art Fight this year and they want to draw with some background noise or just feel like they're not drawing by themselves, catching artists like Friendy and Pilfer and myself on stream. We all three live stream our drawing processes during Art Fight. It's great to hop in and out of the live chat and to communicate with other people who are doing the same thing, because I find that we get a lot of traffic from other artists who are very specifically doing Art Fight alongside you. So it's like really amazing bonding experience. It's really cool to be like collaboratively working on Art Fight together and sharing your thoughts and processes along the way. It's a lot of fun. As far as how I found Art Fight, ye old medieval times of Art Fight 8 years ago. I heard about it on DeviantArt, and I'm not really active on DeviantArt anymore. But that's where I went for everything. I went there for my role-playing groups. I went there for hosting all my art online. I met so many artists through there. I never even crossed my mind to look for artists on YouTube or Facebook or anything like that back then. A few years ago, I started my YouTube channel. So I had been doing Art Fight longer than YouTube. And a couple of years in, I realized like I should really make a tutorial for this, because I remember when I first joined Art Fight, I had no idea how to do it. I had to like ask a bunch of people, and then I had to wait a really long time for answers, because I would like message somebody on like DeviantArt and be like, how does this work? Well, I can't figure it out or whatever. And then I'd have to wait for them to reply back.
Right.
So I have a YouTube now. I make art videos. Why don't I just make a tutorial on July 1st? So I waited for Art Fight to open up, and then I made a tutorial. And I think even to this day, my tutorial might be the only one that shows you how to actually do this stuff on Art Fight, the website, while Art Fight is actively happening, while it's open. Because I waited till July 1st to record my tutorial so that I could actually show you how to set up an account. So I can show you how to upload your characters and how to do all of those things. So I think that there's still value there. Even though it's 3 years old, I think it's still a useful video. And then I've got like a whole playlist just dedicated to Art Fight now. And it's got my videos in there, but it's also got your guys' videos in there. And I thought anybody who's looking for Art Fight content, I want them to be able to find it. And I want them to find it all in one playlist. I don't care whose channel it came from, if it's good at it. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, is building up this playlist over the years. Granted, a lot of them are mine, because any Art Fight video that I make, I'm obviously gonna add to the playlist. But I make sure to lump all the tutorials to the top, and then live streams or anything else is, stuck down to the bottom of the playlist. By the time this comes out, we might actually already have our theme reveal, which I think is the earliest they've ever given it to us before, by the way. They've always like released it a week before July 1st. This is like 2 weeks early.
I think it's grown in popularity a lot. I don't know why specifically now. It's like somehow coincidentally, as we know, like everybody else does too. And so I think as more people join, you facilitate a better ease of access to everybody joining now. Because I think last year and the year before, the servers were overloaded on like the first 3 days, that people couldn't even get in to check profiles or get started. The servers were like constantly down or up or down. And so it was really difficult to get things like underway.
I hate to break it, but like that's been the case every year since I first. I wasn't there the first year that they did it. I think the first year was Monochrome versus Color, which I wasn't on Art Fight then.
Right.
But every year that I've been on it, it's been a tradition. The first couple of days, the site is down, but it has gotten shorter and shorter each time. One of the first years I joined, it was like down for a whole week, and so they extended Art Fight a week into August. So it ended like August 5th or something instead of at the end of July.
Right. Those were the two teams when you joined, the Monochrome versus Color?
No, that way predates me. So my first year was 2017, and I was on Team Sun. It was Sun versus Moon.
Oh, wow.
It looks like the oldest one they have on the front page of the Art Fight website, because I'm looking at the little the year team badges. It goes back to 2015, and it was Color versus Monochrome. It was the very first theme.
I didn't realize that Art Fight was so recent. I always assumed it had been around for like years upon like decades, but
I think it might have been, but there was definitely like a switching of hands at some point in a website reconstruction. Like this is like lore, okay? I'm not confirming this to be accurate. This is just something I think I heard once upon a time. Art Fight does predate 2015. But as far as like art fight in the way that we know it now, that kind of art fight started in 2015, and that website was established, I think, 2015. If we go on their DeviantArt page, because they still maintain their DeviantArt page, to my knowledge, at least last year they still did, it might say on there the pre-2015 history.
I could have sworn it started like in 2014 or 13.
Well, yeah. When I started, it was coffee, it was tea, and I chose coffee, of course.
I did too. I was team coffee.
Yeah. What about you?
I would have been team tea. Join team. Oh, what was it? I don't know. Bloom. There it is. Yes, Bloom.
What's your favorite part about that?
You just do your best work. It's like you get hyper-focused, and it's not guaranteed that you'll get hyper-focused, but I have seen time and time again every year that I do this, most participants I'm seeing, following, and paying attention to enter this kind of like hyper-focused mind space. It's very much like being in the zone. I don't remember what psychology calls that, but it's definitely this state of mind that you get into, and it's just the perfect setup because you're not feeling super rushed. You don't feel like you missed it if you blink, but it doesn't drag on so long that you kick the can down the road. I think the timing is a huge factor. I think the nature of the event where you're receiving gifts and you're giving gifts that cost you nothing but your time and effort, like there's no monetary threshold, I think that plays a huge part in it. And then just the community-driven aspect where drawing typically tends to be a very lonely solo venture. And when you do Art Fight, it becomes this massive community undertaking and you're just surrounded by other people who get it, right? And having that community feeling is unlike anything else. That's why I do it every year. Geez, I need a TLDR. All of that I just said, my point was it creates the mindset that leads to your own artistic growth and improvement. But also, I think, for me at least, a huge factor is that I'm drawing it for somebody else. When I draw it for myself, I'll take shortcuts. I'll do less and be satisfied. But when I'm drawing it for somebody else, I try so much harder and I want it to be so much better. And so I actually do my best work during Art Fight.
That's so nice. I just love giving gifts. It's so nice. Giving art. It's like my favorite. Sure, on Twitter I can find artists or whatever, follow them, whatever. But on Art Fight, there's like some new people I have never seen in my life with like bomb styles that it's just like, how did you go under the radar? And I follow them and they're just fantastic. And then you get to see like newer artists and see them grow through the event and like throughout. Well, if I follow them, I'll like see them grow with like their characters and get new styles along the way. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. So I that's my favorite part, honestly. Yeah, fan art is good too. Like, yeah, getting attacked, whatever. But new artists, that's really fun. I love them. God bless every artist on there. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I'm done. What about you, Biffler? What's your favorite part of Art Fight?
No, I definitely agree. I think meeting new artists is always really fun. So many times I'll just randomize who I look through. I'm not really like going towards friends, characters necessarily. I'm just going through like the list of like names or people that have attacked me, and I'll reply with like a defense. But mostly it's just looking for new people that I've never met, just seeing what characters they have, and I'm like, oh, that character stands out. I really like the idea behind this, and I already have like an idea in my head really quickly, which means it's easy to dive into that design and like the vision for it without needing to spend time like, oh, what pose would they be in? What kind of setting? It's more just like, oh, I get it. Like this character represents space and it's like a dog where its fur is made out of like stars. That's really cool. I could use like colors like the galaxy to find the fur while having it in front of the sun to, like it's kind of like encompassing like an eclipse or something, Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's when you're like, oh, that's the one, because it's just an instant connection. You get in that flow state. Nothing will stop you from drawing this character.
Flow state, that's the word I was looking for. That's the psychology term, flow state.
Yeah. And by the time you're done with that piece, you will have been attacked probably twice, if it's like a day or two. Have like people to respond to, and you're like, oh, cool. And quality doesn't necessarily define your value on ArtFight. It's more your willingness to like participate in the game itself, which is just like, oh, here's my version of your character. Here's,
100.
Yeah, this, and also it's like, oh, they chose this character or that character because they like that one, and they'll usually say something about it, which is really nice, So everybody is kind of like cheering each other on. It's very encouraging, and there's no negativity. It's just like, let's all do the best we can.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anybody be all about like, oh, I have to win ArtFight, points. I haven't seen a lot of people like that. I think the whole idea of like just getting attacked back is like such a big draw that they don't really care about the points, as they shouldn't. But I've seen a little bit of people, but not enough to be like, oh wow, I could just count the people on my hand. Like that little people care about the points on there.
Mm-hmm.
Winning is just fun for the sake of the competitive spirit. I think everybody sort of understands that you win just by participating because you're getting art for free and you're giving art away, and that feels really good too. It sounds like such a cliche, but everybody wins on ArtFight. Even if your team loses, everybody wins.
And you come out with a killer new like art skills too. So, because it's so much practice work. That's the main thing I try and like tell all my students all the time is art's not necessarily about doing all these great pieces. It's how dedicated are you to just continuously improving and working consistently, like as often as possible, hopefully. Just by being dedicated to it over the course of like multiple years, that pays off in itself just from that work. It's like a 1-to-1, you can control that amount. What was your worst memory of art?
That's hard.
If I have any bad memories of it, I just dump them out because I have such rose-tinted goggles when it comes to ArtFight. I don't even want to call it a negative experience because it's not even that serious. Just the only one I didn't really agree with was somebody farming adoptables from ArtFight. And what I mean by that is they would put up a character for someone else to draw for them, and then other artists would come in and draw that, like you do as ArtFight.
Oh, no.
And then they would take those drawings that you made for them and then sell them.
That's some like admirable hustle culture. Nothing is gonna stop them from making that dollar. I can respect that. It is completely, I know, it is completely against the spirit, and like it's pretty scummy too, but also you gotta give them credit for going above and beyond.
Like there's gotta be potentially illegal to sell somebody else's artwork without their consent.
It really is. It really is.
Actually, in the rules, I read yesterday that's against the rules. So maybe they're banned by now.
Or maybe they added it a few years ago and I just didn't catch that. I need to brush up on the rules. I haven't done that yet. I know we talked about it in Discord and I just didn't get around to it. I meant to today, but I got so distracted by bookmarking and downloading bookmarks that I didn't read the rules. I need
to do that too. And
yeah, I've got like a whole folder now.
For any who don't know what Perry is talking about, is you can, if you find something you like, you can bookmark it for later. And that way, you can come back to it in your list of all these characters that you've gone through. I think we all have like probably 100-ish that we need to catch up on from our bookmark list. Yeah. Yeah, it's putting it lightly, apparently.
It must be Bundy, and then you have like 1,000. I've seen her bookmark list. She's got a problem.
91 pages of bookmarks is not a problem.
Gosh.
So what if I found the limits of how much characters you can add on there? So what? It's fine.
We're cutting you off.
No, I can stop anytime.
You're done in this town.
No!
I can stop anytime I want.
No.
You're not my real dad.
Just don't tell me what to do.
Anytime I finish drawing a character that was from my bookmarks, anytime I draw them, I then go back and remove them from bookmarks. Because that's how I kind of like keep my bookmarks kind of cleaned up and not like become over stuffed. And it's easier to see who I still haven't drawn yet.
I mean, my bookmarks, like, I immediately delete them because I have so much. When I get done with drawing them art, it's just that I like their style so much, and I like their characters that, like, if I'm drawing somebody else's character, and then I post it, and I delete that character, but I still have that person's other characters in my bookmarks because they have really cute stuff. I will keep them on my bookmarks just in case they want to revenge me, just in case, or I want to draw them for next year.
Right.
Yeah, for different characters. Like if I've bookmarked more than 2, I'm only deleting the one that I already drew.
Yeah, I just have too many, that's all.
I think that's probably the part of ARTFIGHT that I neglect the most is cleaning up my bookmarks. I have ones that have just been in there for years. And every year I think I'm going to do way more drawings from bookmarks, but as soon as ARTFIGHT starts and I get that first attack, it's straight up revenge mode. I end up going straight to defense, and that's the entire rest of my season.
Oh no. It gets like that.
It feels really bad by the end of the month when you're like just exhausted from drawing the whole time, that people are sending you their like final attacks and you can't keep up. So there's like 10 stragglers that you're just like, I'm so sorry, you're literally not going to get anything for an entire year. And like, there's nothing I could do about that. I'm trying my best.
Veteran fighters. So is that a strategy that both of you use? I know I use it. The next year you prioritize attacking players who you didn't get to the previous year on your revenge list?
I try my best.
I try not to. If you missed it, you missed it. After that first ARTFIGHT video I did, I had a target on my back, so I was nonstop revenge. I only did like maybe 10 of my bookmarks last year, if that, like maybe 5 at the least. I don't know. So it got really bad. So it was just all revenge. So I didn't even have time to go back to the ones that I needed to revenge. So it sucked, but so I'm gonna try to come up with a system where I'm like, okay, if I'm revenging you guys, because I really want to get to my bookmarks. If I'm revenging, I might have to try a different art style for you guys that's a little bit faster, but still looks really cool. It's something to experiment with, because like, you want to learn and grow, and I want to experiment with other mediums. And so hopefully that would be an outlet for that. But like, I don't want to leave anybody hanging as well, but like, if it's like the last bit of people to attack me, I'm sorry, you're getting a ballpoint pen sketch, and it's going to look as cool as I can make it at the last minute.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I noticed that last year too. I only got one of my bookmarks done. It was the very first attack. And then after that, like I said, straight to defense. I managed to revenge everyone except for one person from my Discord who slipped one more attack in on like the last day. And I was like, I just caught up. Immediately at the end of last year when it closed, is I went ahead and updated my profile to let people know I'm not putting my focus this year on revenging everybody. I'm still going to try to revenge everybody. But I barely made the cut last year. I think like Friendy said, once you put a video out, there's like a target on you. People know who you are and they find your profile, which is a beautiful thing. I love it. Like I want to meet all the other art fighters. I love the community aspect of it. It's my favorite thing. But it does put you in the defense. So my strategy this year is to focus on quality over quantity. Oh, we lost something. We lost Pilfer.
No worries.
Good.
Really good.
So if I can't make it to the last day with everybody's revenge, you go on the wait list for next year.
Right.
And if that becomes a real problem, then maybe I'll change my policy again for upcoming years. But so far, I think I'm still unknown enough to make it manageable.
Right. Well, for me personally, so 2022 was push myself to the limit. See, like how good I can make all of these.
What happened in 2023, Pilfer?
Yeah, I know. Well, okay. Well, let's start with 2022. So before ARTFIGHT 2022, I thought I was like a pretty mediocre artist. Like internally, I didn't really think any of my art was very good. I thought I was just like another artist. As soon as I made my Team Wither piece, I was like, oh, I'm actually like pretty good. Like I'm actually really good. This is awesome. And it sounds like egotistical to say that, but it's more like reassuring myself. Like that is true. I am very good. And then in throughout all of ARTFIGHT 2022, I thought all my pieces were like really good. So I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. That solidified. That was a new foundation of like how I believed my art skill was. And then 2023 comes along, like a 6 out of 10 instead of being like a 9 out of 10. I think I just kind of did my best. I wasn't really try-harding to get like perfect pieces out. They're still like pretty good, but they're not, oh man, I want to put this on my wall. As far as I know.
The pieces you showed us earlier, were those all from 2022?
Yeah, those are all from 2022. There's a couple in 2023 that I was trying out new stuff. I was trying to see if I could be a little bit different, more like storytelling, I think was the purpose. This year, I don't know if I want to use it as a practice year or like what my goal is. Because if 2022 was to like really solidify a belief in myself as an artist that like, yes, I can do this like professionally forever. I don't know what 2024 is yet. I haven't decided if I just want to make a bunch of stuff or if I want to do like storyboards with people's characters or if I want to do like interactions, or I was even thinking animation, because 2024 is my year of animation. That's kind of like all encompassing what my use of 2024 is. I might just do like animations for ARTFIGHT, which is going to be horribly exhausting. But to be fair, after July, I'm going to be a killer animator if that's the case. So that's my goal. I just decided that's my goal.
That's awesome.
Murdered me with his animation, by the way. I'm dead right now.
No.
He's that good.
Wow.
I'm a ghost. Ooh, he's that good.
I love your scenes that you've been posting. I rewatched them and I think they're so good. They're like really fun.
I wish they were fun for me.
Wow. I get the vibe you're going for, and like it all
Thank
really
you.
like, lands really well. So that says something.
For this year, because like the first year I was trying to use brushes in clip paint that like I really liked, but I didn't really feel comfortable using. So I did that. That was really fun. But now I'm comfortable with those brushes, so there's a problem now. And what else do I do? Last year, I don't even know what I did last year. I think I just got something bombarded that I couldn't focus on anything. Oh, wait, last year was crayons. I wanted to use crayons for things. I used crayons. I wanted to use clay originally, but that plan totally backfired. Let's not talk about mold here. So my plan this year is to work with watercolor, because we went to a thrift store recently and we found all these like watercolors there. I'm like, what the heck? Why did somebody give these away? What? And I have like a lifetime supply of watercolor paper, don't ask. And so I'm like, what am I going to do with all this? So ARTFIGHT. But I also really want to get better at like watercolor in general, because of, I wanted to work that into animation as like a background kind of thing, because I feel like it would be like a little faster and I feel like less pressure. Whenever I work on backgrounds on the computer, I feel like I have to trust the process, and I do not want to trust the process. It comes out like really blocky. I don't know. It's a me thing. So I feel with watercolor, it just, whatever you do to it, it's going to be nice to me. So that's the goal. If anything, I'm probably going to do watercolor like at 3 a.m. and be like, yep, that's the attack. And then never think about it ever again.
I won't judge. You've seen my stash of material. If I buy like a new sketchbook or something, I'm like, guys, I got a new sketchbook and a video. In my Discord, I've got people calling me out. They're like, Perry, we've talked about this. Like,
Right.
stop buying art supplies. Start using them.
As a kid, that was like an issue you had too, where you would just collect all these art supplies and never use them because you wanted to keep them in like pristine condition.
Yeah, and still have them. I never got rid of them. So. They've traveled.
You should do a review of all your collected art supplies.
Yeah, like stuff like, hey, do a comparison like Crayolas from like the 90s to now.
Oh man.
What flavor are they?
Tell you what, that would be a very interesting video with dried paint. Like, here's this 20-year-old. Will it still paint?
How does it smell?
I can't even do that if I wanted to with my markers, because I already went through and threw away all the markers that don't work anymore.
Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, I know I have to do that. I don't want to, but like, it has to be done.
My goal for ARTFIGHT this year is going to be trying to follow not all of them, that'd be like insane, but trying to follow some art tutorial videos that I have been saving in my watch later pile. I really want to learn some new skills and things, and particularly with some softwares that I'm not familiar with, and every year I make sure I participate, so I already know that. And I'm going to use that time to learn new skills, which is one of the biggest, bestest parts of ARTFIGHT is learning new skills. I've got some skills I want to learn, I want to work on, some tutorials I want to follow, and ARTFIGHT, because it's not the same as doing a commission. With a commission, there's money involved or whatever it is that you're trading involved, and you feel a certain pressure to do your best work. And when it comes to that, at least for me, when I'm pressured to do my best work, I'm afraid to try new things. I would default back to my comfort zone.
A good example is how you managed to, what was it, 100 pieces last year?
I forgot about that. I think it was like 150. I know I'm almost at 300. I don't know
in only 2 years.
Yeah, well, when you like something, somebody's character enough, you're gonna draw them, right? Right.
What is it that you got as an artist out of ARTFIGHT that makes it something that's like really beneficial as an artist to do?
Why do you come back?
Yeah, why do you come back? Yeah, other than like drawing other people's characters or yourself. What do you get out of it for yourself?
I get nothing out of it. Absolutely nothing. I think I disprove like as an artist because I'm drawing so fast and I'm like enjoying it. And sometimes I just draw like comfort characters, as in like I just really like drawing like girls in magical girl suits and like cute little animal guys. I like that. So I'm going back to the things I like, but I mean, I have dabbled in drawing like characters I don't think I would normally draw, like monster characters or clown characters, which I should really start drawing more clowns actually. But like monster characters are something I want to get into because like the magical girls need to fight something, right? So I don't know. So I try to have like a character I would assume is more monster-esque, and you don't know exactly what he is, like Mr. Beef Meat. That's like one of my characters I really want people to draw, but people don't want to draw him because he's a big muscly guy, so it's difficult. That goes into what I wanted to ask you guys. Like when you put down character descriptions, people like look at it as like lore, right? But I don't like to do that because I feel like I want to have all the lore in the content I'm making for them. So it's just like they're a blank slate and I have to put down like the bare minimum. And I know that's like a consequence of like how I'm going about things, but I really want to save things for the story and people to experience the character as opposed to just reading it out,
Right.
How do you feel about that? Like putting down the lore for the character when you have like a webcomic out for them or you have planned like a story for them, but like they're going to experience it through a lore little dump?
I can relate to that with my webtoon characters because my webtoon cast is on my page for ARTFIGHT. I still put like summary and then sort of character archetype for each character in the description box. I can like give sort of elevator pitch for your story without giving away actionable parts of the story. And you can still always identify a character by an archetype that they are fulfilling. And so I'm able to do that with my characters. So I think it's just kind of a decision you have to make for yourself. But for sure, there are ways to do a description for your character without giving away any punchlines or anything like that. You just kind of got to think elevator pitch style. How would I summarize my story without having to give away the end?
Well, I always see it as like the first episode, how you introduce the character. That's kind of what I put down as information, like, oh yeah, this is obviously their origin. You'd learn that within the first episode anyways, so it's not like extreme to just give them that little bit and then let them run with it. But there's also nothing wrong with giving them more from the story because, I mean, when's your story going to be out anyways, right? By then they'll probably forget because it takes years to come out with this stuff and it could change too. People just want to know about your characters.
I know, you can only hope though that they'd forget and be like, wait for it.
I'll say as a viewer, when I'm looking for characters to draw, I personally prefer, and I know everybody's got a different preference, so my preference is not universal. I personally prefer characters that have a description. I want to know a paragraph's worth of information about this character. Because a lot of times, especially if I'm drawing a character who's in a T-pose on a character reference sheet that doesn't tell me anything about who they are as a person or if they're not a person, as like an individual, I might not even draw them. I might pass. I might be like, okay, pass. I don't have enough information to draw this character in an interesting way. Because I'm also here to push myself and to try to give you the best version of art that I can give you. If I don't know enough information about your character to draw them in an interesting way that is true to the character, then I'm just not going to draw them. I'm going to pick somebody else to draw. So that's my personal preference. I would rather know more about the character. I prefer a description.
I especially like when someone will draw your character and interpret themselves what they see this character as in a way that's almost like how they would want to see them. Because there's a lot of times, I have a character that's like, he's kind of like timid so that he can grow through the story and be like, you know, more of a man by the end of it. So it has that like boy to manhood character arc. But everybody always draws him as like the strong, like, I'm a man, I'm gonna fight off all the bad guy types. And I'm like, that's cute, because that's what everybody wants from the character, which is makes me happy, because that is what I'm bringing him to. But he has to start like somewhere to get to that point so that you like enjoy it more when he gets there. And so it's fun to see how people interpret these characters that they essentially know nothing about, but they're like, oh, I like his design, I'm gonna interpret him this way. And you're like, all right, cool.
I love that kind of stuff.
How do you guys feel about linkings to external sites? I think, Friendy, in one of your videos, you might have gone into this, but I think it's okay to just touch on it again.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just when I'm on a site, I want to stay on the site. That's like my only gripe. But like, I understand if you want to get more lore, and if you want to get more in depth and know more about the world that character's in, and more reference pictures, because they only allow like 5 pictures on ARTFIGHT. And it's not like I'm not gonna do it. Like, I've done it before. I like link people to my website, and now Unveil, because like I have 100 pictures of one character on Unveil. So if you need more references, you can go here, but you don't have to. So it's right. I'm okay with it. I just think the characters should speak for themselves. Okay, I'm done.
I think you make a good point, because I hadn't differentiated, but there is a difference between, like, say somebody creating a thumbnail that says Toy House, and you click on it and it takes you to their Toy House link where they have all their characters, versus them saying, if you want extra information other than the 6 images in the description I give you here, here's a link to Toy House. I think that's 2 completely different methods. If I go to a profile and all I see is a thumbnail that says Toy House, and they want me to go to another website to learn about all their characters, and then just, I guess, when I attack one of them, link it all to the same empty profile, I'm not going to do it. If you attack me and that's my only option on your profile, you're going to go to the very back of the revenge list. You're going to be the last one on the pile, because I really don't think that shows that you care very much about ARTFIGHT, because you're not putting in the effort to set up your profile. I'm not saying I won't draw for you, but you're definitely going to like the end of the list. But if you created the character reference, you set up the profile, but then you said, here's a link to extra information if you just are so enamored with my character you want to know more. Now, that I've done before, where I like a character a lot, I read the description, I looked at the 6 photos, they had a link. Usually if it's like a story related, like, oh, this is my character for my comic, or this is my character for my story, whatever, and I want to see the story, I will follow that link. Sometimes you do like a character a lot and you want to know more. It's great. ARTFIGHT, the unspoken thing we haven't said yet, ARTFIGHT is great advertising for your OCs and your stories. Definitely. It's a great way to find the audience, the right audience for your stories and for your character. So yeah, like adding those extra links for the ones who are really interested is great. Just don't force everybody to go hunting, because they won't.
Oh no, I encourage everybody, because I did this last year. I don't know if it helped any, but like, if you have a webcomic attached to your character, link that sucker down below. We want to see the characters in action.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. I don't want to be like, oh, these are my ARTFIGHT gripes. Earlier I was like, oh, I have no gripes with ARTFIGHT. I love ARTFIGHT. And now I'm like, let me roll this out for you.
It's a big drama.
Because I think this is from the same video, Friendy. This is like your ARTFIGHT venting video. And I agreed with you. You had mentioned the thumbnails. So when people make an attack, and every attack has the same thumbnail.
Oh, I
do not like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like ugly, because it's just the whole page is just one picture over and over again, and maybe they'll put like 2023, 2024.
Yeah, sometimes it's just the year on the thumbnail.
Yeah, I
get why people do it, because they can separate like the batches from each year, so I get why they do it. Mm-hmm. But if I want to look at your art and I have to open every single one, because you can't like open it and then scroll to the left or something. Right. You have to open it, back out, open another one, back out. And so like that's terrible. I don't want to do that. I think the preview, the thumbnail preview is interesting. Then I'll open up the art and I'll look at it and I'll leave comments or whatever. Mm-hmm. Man, when it's all like just the wall of the same thumbnail, it's just, that's a turn off. Like I just move on. I go to some another profile.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the reason why people do that is because they're ashamed. That's why they're hiding it, I guess, or aesthetic reasons. I don't know, man. It is quite annoying, but like, dude, you've grown. It's okay to show that, and then you get more art attacks. But again, maybe they don't want to get overwhelmed with attacks, or I don't know. People have the reasons why they do it. I don't get it personally, but it is annoying.
I feel like they just don't know any better. Like they don't know that that's something like not to do to begin with. Also, it's probably just easier to have one thumbnail that you just re-upload. Because then you gotta make a new thumbnail, it's gotta be the right size, and so you have to make like a template for the thumbnails, and then...
It's actually more work to make that one thumbnail that you reuse every time than it is to just upload the art with no thumbnail, because the site will automatically make a thumbnail from your art for you. I
didn't know they do that. What?
I didn't know that either.
I'm learning so much.
Too. Yeah.
So you guys watch this podcast, you're gonna learn the do's and the don'ts and all the little fun extras.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need to make a thumbnail. You can submit your art without don't even open, it's like attach thumbnail. Don't even attach anything and submit it. And it will automatically make a thumbnail for you from the artwork.
Right.
Do you guys have any people you've met on ARTFIGHT who you come back to check their work each year or to draw them again? Like they're your ARTFIGHT friend?
Hopu Puffs has drastically improved their art like exponentially every single year, and now their art is essentially what you would see on like Cartoon Network. Like that's the quality. Whereas they started essentially 4 years ago at like F tier art, not to be like rude towards them, it's just that big of a gap that you're like, whoa, this is so cool. So every year I check on them, I'm like, oh, this is great. I love seeing how far you've come. It's awesome.
I love that
too.
I think you're still new, Friendy. You'll get it. You'll get them. You'll make your ARTFIGHT friends.
Your little ARTFIGHT sprout.
I definitely have some ARTFIGHT friends that I've seen, and I've had some that stopped showing up. Every year I like look for some of the same people over and over again, and I'm really excited when I see them log in and pick a team or something, because I'm like, yay, they're back, you know, and you get to see that growth, like Poker said. But then sometimes they don't come back, and it is kind of sad when I'm looking for the same people every year and then they skip a year. When they come back another year after skipping one, I'm like, oh cool, so they only were just skipping, not quitting. That's fun too. I love attacking the same people again because you've kind of built that bond, especially if you're really good about commenting back when somebody attacks you. I find that that's such a good way to build those relationships as friendship bonds, is to just show gratitude in the comments section, show appreciation when somebody in your subscriptions box uploads new characters. Like, leave a comment on that character's page. Even if you're not prepared to draw them, or if you don't think you'll get around to them, still show some appreciation, show them some love. I think that that's such a great way, such a genuine, kind way to just kind of build those relationships and build each other up. Everybody deserves that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inspired Artist is one that I've shown in some of my videos before, where I've been doing these revenge chains with her for a couple of years. And I'll draw a character from her story, and then the next year I'll come back and I'll pick another character from that universe. And so each year I draw another character from her story, and it's just kind of fun to come back and keep up that kind of habit and just appreciation for somebody else's work.
There's a couple people that I always go back to, and I'm like, I'll want to draw, obviously not the same character, maybe to compare like skills from previous years, but whereas you like doing the same universe to be like, oh, let me build out your team of characters that you've created, I'm like, oh, but what about this other completely different style? This one's literally made out of jelly. All right, I'll draw that one. This one's a normal human person. Okay, I'll draw that one, you know. So it's just fun to try different things, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, I think everybody does have like an animal character, like, you know, they're human characters, they're dragon or something. Yeah.
I think that also just kind of shows artistic growth, maybe even outside of just your art skills, but your storytelling skills. when you diversify your characters. I think when we're younger, we all sort of start out with our self-sona type characters or our projection of what we want ourselves to be. And so all of those characters might have the same traits because that's what you think is cool or what you like. But then as you develop better storytelling skills, you start to diversify the characters you create. And I think that you can kind of see that too over time with some artists that you get to know.
But ARTFIGHT, pretty
Is she for
fun.
ARTFIGHT? Is this character for
No.
ARTFIGHT?
No, this is one of my many problems. I'll make OCs and then I have nothing to do with them. So meet what's her face. I don't know. I just made her.
You should put her up
I'm
on
not
ARTFIGHT.
allowed. No, you can't. No,
What?
I already have 100 characters on there. She has to go on the
Dude.
extra.
I think that is like something to comment on because there's a rule in grocery stores that you can only have up to, I think it's 12 brands on a shelf maximum, because as soon as you put that 13th brand, people will just not buy bread because there's too many options. They can't focus it down. They don't know where to start. Yeah, choice paralysis. So that's something to think about, Friendy, as well as anyone else out there. But it's really up to you. Who cares? It's ARTFIGHT. But at the same time, it is. Yeah. I think
The
there's
number
something to
for
say.
everybody is different. I've definitely talked about this before too over the years, usually like in Discord or something, but like everybody sets the what's too much number at a different number.
Right. I mean, I'm just going off of grocery store psychology, so what do I know?
I like giving options. I know people are like, oh yeah, I like to have like all the characters because of bait or whatever, or I just want to give people a fair chance, and which is somewhat true with some of my characters. I know I have some characters like that, but most of them, the majority of them, I don't have like a finite story to have them in. I just want them up there for people just to choose, and they don't have to. And guess what? I have such a big target on my back. They don't have to choose. They don't have to draw me art. It's okay to not attack me in ARTFIGHT. I have a lot on my plate, so it's fine.
Day one, you're gonna have like 96 like attacks on you.
No way.
That's all you're gonna be doing for all of July is responding to that first day.
She's gonna shut down. She's gonna get an error message and she's just gonna shut down.
That's what I did almost last year. I was like, guys, stop it! I want to draw my bookmarks, please. There's characters I've been drooling over for like 2 years. Please let me draw them, please. I beg you.
It's hard not to draw early too. You gotta wait.
Oh, yeah.
To do my first. We've got like bookmarks. We've saved them to our desktops or our phones. I'm like tempted to start printing them out just so that I can see them closer. Like I don't have to log in and open it. It's just right there on my desk. I'm just so excited. It's like there's this character already that I know I want to draw. It's a ghost e-girl streamer.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm not going to say whose character it is. If it's yours, you know. And
Isn't that
I
just
am
you
so
in person?
excited. Yeah, it's such a cool concept. I'm really excited to try it. And so I've like been planning poses, but I haven't drawn anything. I've like hands off, haven't touched like a tablet, but it's all like I'm working on it. I'm composing it. I'm excited for how to draw this character. I think it's a really fun, concept character. And I'm going to wait a long time because it is only the 7th.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe I should organize my bookmarks. Oh, my profile needs to be updated. Try to keep yourself occupied in that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, like I have to do my webtoon. I gotta like bring that back. So it's like time to start drawing chapters, but instead I'm just like surfing ARTFIGHT and getting like completely, it's like that doom scroll thing where you don't realize what you're doing until 2 hours later. It's like
Oh my
me with
God.
ARTFIGHT.
YouTube Shorts are the death of me. I've been working on this app for about a year now, and I always end up doing other projects in the meantime. I think it's something like the last 10% of any project is the hardest. That's what they say. And right when I get to that 10%, I'm like, oh, here's all these great ideas I want to do. Let me start all of these projects and work on those instead of the main one that could have been done by now. So it'll be on hold for ARTFIGHT because there's no way I could do both. At least, I don't know. Maybe I can. I'd rather just focus on ARTFIGHT and just have fun with it and then return to the projects after.
recently, because like I just started like animating like 2 or 3 months ago on my project, and it's going slow, but with ARTFIGHT on the way, I've been doing like these animation progress reports, and I don't want July to be empty, so it's getting me in the mindset, at least if I work on it like once a week, it's something to put in that video. So it's holding me accountable to get at least something done. Or I'm gonna probably set up like, oh, I draw like 5 ARTFIGHT attacks, and throughout each one I have to draw like 1 frame of animation, just something to get it done along the way. Yeah, just dangling that carrot of trying to get my project done between ARTFIGHT attacks. That's how it's gonna have to be for me.
Right.
Yeah. I'm coming out of like a second hiatus right now, which is why I'm a little bit scared to pause any projects, because I did my scheduled hiatus in March, but then I had a medical hiatus in May. So I've been gone twice already this year, and it's only June. I feel like I got to get back in it, or else I'm going to start losing relevancy, especially with YouTube and Webtoon. I mean, I see the subscriptions falling off every day for both YouTube and Webtoon, because I've just been gone and people think my channel's dead, my Webtoon's dead, and so they leave.
Right.
And it's like, no, I'm still here, guys. It's taking me a lot longer. And, you know, nobody wants to wait around for you to get your hiatuses out of the way. And I didn't mean to take so many. I feel so much pressure to get back to work. And I might try, and I say try because there's no way I can guarantee that I could even pull this off, but I might try to batch some chapters in June, like to draw extra Webtoon chapters, just so that I have them out of the way for July. That's a huge ask, because I said ask, by the way, ASK. Just in case that was unclear. But yeah, it's just a lot of work, and I have like a full-time job, and I also have my totally abandoned and neglected gaming channel that I gotta work on, and it's a lot. It's hard not to start new creative projects, but then maintaining them is a beast. Like juggling stuff, that's hard. And I always do that. I always sign up for too much.
Well, I think that goes into a discussion we had on the previous podcast about like artist health, and where your channel's not going to go anywhere. Like, even if you lose a couple subscribers, it's not going to change anything in the near future. You have to take care of you first and your health, and, you know, rest is obviously like a big one, you know, your diet, etc., exercise, etc. And so it's like, yeah, it would, in a perfect world where you didn't need any sleep, right, and you didn't have all these responsibilities, you can have your gaming channel, Desk Dweller, and then you can have your art channel, Perry Pictures, and then you can have your ARTFIGHT, all simultaneously running, and you also have a team for some reason. Like, oh wow, this is great. But the reality is you're one single human that probably gets like an hour a day after work and, you know, eating and just being a human on a normal level. And so to expect more from yourself is unfair to you. And so, and I always get into this, like, not argument, but I'm really adamant about, like, take care of you. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, art is a hobby until it's a profession. And, like, we can treat it as a profession until it becomes one as well. But the reality is that it's a hobby until it's a profession. And if you want it to become a profession, that means you have to treat yourself as a professional. And that's taking care of yourself. Yeah. It is, because
you want to do professional level art on a hobbyist budget of time.
Right, exactly. Thank you. I think that's a perfect way to say it. Gaining art skill isn't because you sat down and drew for 12 hours. It's because every single day you drew for 10 hours. Or, I'm sorry, every single day you drew for 10 minutes, not 10 hours. That's self-destruction.
You're like, you have 1 hour a day, maybe after work, draw for 10 hours.
Yeah, draw for 10 hours right now. Get to it.
Make it happen.
Chop, chop.
Rhythm down. Anyways, I don't know.
I think I touched on that a little bit too with the video that just came out. I have the ARTFIGHT one, the training montage, which did not stick, by the way. That did not stick the landing. I think I messed up.
What are you talking about?
I did that comedy skit where I did like the Rocky training montage, but nothing leading up to it in the intro was funny. So I just don't think people were expecting, like, let me be stupid for a minute and then come back and be serious. And I think a lot of people were like, this doesn't make sense, and just like pieced out of the video. My analytics, like, there's a clip. It just drops off on the video analytics right where we get to that part.
Yeah, but you learned something really good from that, though, to be fair. Yeah. Now you know, like, I have to keep them hooked at these intervals.
No, but we talked about it. That's the problem. We were, like, trying to find the right like, area to put it in the video.
Oh.
Sucks.
I don't think where I put it was the problem. I think how I set up the joke was the problem. And by set up the joke, I mean not setting it up at all. Like, I did not set up the joke at all. So I think a lot of people were confused. But in that video, I mentioned burnout and how to avoid it, because that whole thing about, like, you have a life still while art fight's happening, but you want to pretend like you don't so that you can just do art, like, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And I know I'm not the only one who that's all I'm thinking about in July. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm at work, I'm thinking about art fight.
Right.
I'm, like, on my phone bookmarking stuff for like later that day when work's over. So
well, that's something a really good piece of advice. Instead of trying to draw all day, every day, the time that you're away from it, that you're at school or you're, at work or with your family, whatever. If you allow yourself to think about what the next piece is, or like have a character in your mind, you can think of what that piece will be before creating it. Because I know a lot of old Greek, sculptors and painters, they would sit there and they would stare at the wall or at this like piece of marble, and they wouldn't actually work on it until they've solidified that idea in their brain, and then they'd get to work. And I think as artists, that's another part of discipline that we lack is, I want to dive in and just get to work, because that's fun stuff.
We have edit undo, and that's why we don't so far ahead. We did.
Right. But that's the important thing. That's part of the discipline of being an artist, is slowing down, giving yourself time to think and like understand what this piece is and feel it. I know me personally, I'm really bad at it. I like to dive in and I like to like throw everything at the canvas, and like then you get that connection with it and you want to like finalize it, which also does work. Everybody works differently, but I think in this situation, a good tactic is think about the piece just for this one while you're away, solidify that idea, and then when you get home, you don't have to like struggle with what is this piece that I want to do with this character. I already have it all figured out, colors, pose, all this like storytelling, and then drawing it, if you're even going that far.
I feel like there's a lot of value in stewing on it, and figuring out, and you're going to discover sometimes it doesn't lead to anything different than your initial concept, and then sometimes you find like a little detail that you thought about adding to your initial concept leads you to an even better idea. What if I did this instead? And it's more dynamic, it's more exciting. So sometimes stewing on it does produce, and that's that unavoidable period of time where you're living your life, you're going to school, you're going to work, whatever. Like that can produce some really great work just because of that like restriction, the fact that you have to sit on it, you have to stew over it. I mean, you don't have to, you can be like, I don't know, focusing on your class.
Right. Well, that's not going to happen. Doing
your homework? I don't know.
Throughout all of July, nobody's thinking about what they're supposed to be thinking about. Everybody's just focusing on
that's what summer break is for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's thinking about it. It's just art.
Actually took time off of work again for this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Whether or not I do art fight full time during those like the 2 weeks that I took off, I don't know, but it'll be
That's
fun.
how serious it is, you guys.
Yeah.
For people who are listening to this who've never done art fight, that is how serious it gets. Like it's all you want to do.
So competitive. You don't win anything. There's no reason to do it this hardcore, but it's fun.
Just something about it, the spirit of the community coming together and all working on art together. It's just magic. It's just really magical. You want to be a part of it. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah. Good times, good times. Can't think of anything else to say. I just like art. Yes, I'm almost done with this, by the way.
Well, for my channel coming up, my goal is with ARTFIGHT. starting with ARTFIGHT in July. So I'm going to be animating everybody's characters. I'm going to be cutting that up into shorts galore. Because I have a friend on YouTube. He's at like 300,000 subscribers. On like right? Sticky Arts, and he's so good. He has an entrepreneurial spirit where he's just like, this is the game. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna get this done. And so he's like, Pilfer, you need to make more shorts. And I'm like, but with what time? Like, I got no energy, no time. I got to figure out a schedule that works. But with ARTFIGHT, I'm gonna be cutting up the animations, or not the animations, but like the footage, and making shorts out of it, and all that stuff to leading up to it. I'll probably also make like an ARTFIGHT video too. Maybe not a whole discussion, just a short for ARTFIGHT. I think the skill in art is the least important part of making content. It's just like, why are people watching you? Like, and that's it, to be entertained, essentially. And like, oh, this is subject matter that I care about, and also to be entertained. Nobody cares if you're an amateur artist. You could talk about whatever you want. Here's how to draw a cube, and you could literally not draw a cube well, like even as a cube. It could just be a square. It's like, did they have fun?
Entertaining.
Yeah.
I follow so many underrated channels that are like actually really freaking good at art, like mind-blowingly good, and the subs are just not there. And I think that's why. I think it's two reasons. It's one, because they're not the internet persona. They're not bringing the energy. They're not bringing the entertainment necessarily. They're bringing good art that's beautiful to look at if you are interested in that kind of thing. But it's a much smaller, I think, audience when it comes to just wanting to see good art. I think it's a way bigger net if you can be entertaining while showing your art.
Definitely.
But then too, the other thing I speculate with some of those other channels, and this is a totally different topic we could have saved for a different conversation, but I think that the really good artists, like that next level, like God tier artist, don't always have the views because they seem unattainable. So if I'm watching tutorials on art, I want something that looks like I could do it tomorrow. I don't want to maybe follow a tutorial for a skill that is so advanced that it's going to take me 10 years to get there. I don't think that there's a lot of like return viewership for that. People might find it, be super impressed, subscribe, but then every time a notification pops up for one of those videos, I find myself doing this. I might be like, pass, because I'm not there yet. I'm not ready for that tutorial. And so I think a lot of those channels are flying under the radar for that reason.
I agree. I noticed this with ARTFIGHT in particular on like their Discord. So it's sad to say, but if you're too high of a skill, then the majority group that's like, we'll say like in the mid-range, doesn't like putting to them, because it's like, oh, I could never have that. I'm just like a youngling, right? And so they'll purposely ignore your art because that's so unobtainable to them. They're like scared of it. But then if there's someone within their same range posts something, then they're like, oh, I love that. That's so great. I love all these things. But then if you post something in a higher skill bracket that is like more closer to yours, those artists will be like, oh, I love this. But as soon as a lower person comes in, they'll ignore them. And so it's like there's a clique within like skill brackets, and it's disappointing because for me, if I were to meet an artist that's like really, really advanced, I'd be like, oh man, like I'd love to meet you. I want to learn everything that you could teach me. I want to watch what you do. And if you're willing to have a conversation, I'd love to talk to you. But I think that's also the lower, like not to be rude, but like we'll say the mid-range skill bracket, because that age, they don't have that in mind of like, oh, I want a mentor. They're like, oh, I just want to draw with my friends. Whereas the older you get, you're like, oh, I want to refine this because it means something, and this is a skill that I care about, and growth, and et cetera, et cetera. So
I feel like I've seen that, but only in one direction with ARTFIGHT. I've seen, like you said, the more junior artist ignoring the more advanced ones, and I think you're right, it has a lot to do with intimidation. But I don't really ever see the advanced artist ignoring the junior artist, and I think specifically because those advanced artists know what they're doing when they're getting on ARTFIGHT. They are there to brawl with the junior artist. They're there for their own personal time. That's not business time for the advanced artist. That's personal time. That's fun time. So they're there to draw these simpler characters. It's kind of a relief when you're like, sometimes when I have a huge pile of revenge to do, I will pick the simplest character in somebody's list of characters because that's a relief for me. I can draw a simple character with a more advanced style a lot faster than, say, if I saw an advanced drawing and I was like, wow, I want to draw that character, but that character is complicated and hard. And I might not. So even me as the junior artist looking up, I might be put off by a more advanced artist, but I never see it the other way around.
Right.
Not to say it doesn't exist, but I think when more advanced artists come to ARTFIGHT, they kind of know what they're doing. They're mingling with junior artists and they're fine with that from what I've seen. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist just because I didn't see it.
Oh, I like that already-ish. No, I completely agree. And I also think the advanced artists know what it's like to be there, like at a more junior level, because they struggled being there and got to where they were, and that means a lot.
We can finish with the wrapping up part. If Friendy, you want to go ahead and tell us what your plans are for your channel for ARTFIGHT?
Oh yeah, watercolors. Try to animate like some bases, but I don't know if bases are out of the question for animating per se. Even if I made them, because it's on like one of the rules. I don't know. I'll see. I'm gonna check into that. But so far, watercolors, get revenges, and work on my dang bookmarks. And that's the gist of it. I'm gonna be trying to live stream it. It's always guerrilla streams, or I don't know when I'm gonna do it. But hopefully in the daytime. But it's never a confirmed thing. But if I don't do it in the day, probably at night. But yeah, it's, other art type videos in July. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to get all my ARTFIGHT videos done in June, so people can go to those instead of all I could work on is just ARTFIGHT stuff. So we'll see.
I love how you said guerrilla style, like streaming. I also plan on streaming for ARTFIGHT, just like I have in previous years. I think it's a great way to maintain both the channel and your ARTFIGHT momentum is to just share it while it's happening real time. I'll be doing that. I usually stream fairly early during the day on weekends. I don't really do it during the week because my work schedule is pretty intense. I think I'm on board with what Friendy said about trying to get my ARTFIGHT like polished videos, my edited videos, all posted during June. So I'll try and do that as well.
You got this.
Yeah. I'll definitely be streaming ARTFIGHT the whole time. 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every single day for at least like the first 2 weeks. I hope. I might also guerrilla style and just like do it whenever, you know. I might do some late night ones and I might do some like early day ones and do both. That'd be fun.
They're streaming the same time as me.
I know, overlap. Oof, so competitive. That's a real ARTFIGHT.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode. We hope you guys are going to have a wonderful ARTFIGHT season, and stay tuned for more because we are going to be putting out an episode. These first 3 are going to be every 2 weeks, but then after that, you know, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell because we're going to put one out probably monthly. And if you want to catch those as they drop each month, you're going to want to be subscribed. So make sure to hit those buttons and bells, and that way you will see us next time. In final words.
Thank you for watching or listening.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed what you listened to here. And wait, did I say watching? Say listening?
No, Friendy, you know, yeah. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, I think it's really fun, and hope that people enjoy what we talk about here, learn something.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what will be new. I guess it depends. It'll vary from person to person, but I'm sure there will be little pieces of valuable information in there for everyone.
Definitely.
Bye.
Bye.